Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about how to actually not care about what other people think about you. It comes down to just a few things, but mainly it comes down to love. And not only love for yourself and, having some sort of self confidence and solid identity or solid idea of who you are, but it also comes down to having love for others. I think that at the end of the day, we all want to be liked. We all want to be appreciated. We all want to be thought about in high regard. But more often than not, that's not the case. More often than not, someone is always going to have something to say. The first thing I would say is that self knowing. You have to have complete knowledge of yourself. You have to understand who you are, and not just the good parts of who you are, but the bad parts, the good, the bad, the in between. You have to understand who you are for all that you are, all of the different layers that come with what makes you you. And I say this because people will try to say what you are, people will try to tell you who you are. But if you have that solid knowledge of who you know yourself to be, then it'll be harder for people to get to you. It'll be harder for you to care about what other people have to say because you know who you are. So that's the first thing. Two would be that self love and confidence. After you know who you are, everything about who you are, once you have that self love and that confidence, you accept who you are. You accept these things, and not only do you accept these things, but you love these things. You love these things about yourself. You are very confident, and you can't easily be swayed. You can't easily be broken down by words of other people, right? Thirdly, I say that you need to have love for other people because that'll help you to not be so bitter. That'll help you to not stoop to their level so easily. And it'll just kind of cleanse your heart. It'll keep your heart posture where it's supposed to be. If you can look at a situation for what it is, you can kind of look right through people and see what they're doing, see what their intentions are. Because a lot of the times when people have something to say about you, it's not necessarily true. For one, you know yourself better than anybody else. Nobody can tell you who you are except for you. And although some things people say to you might be true in a sense, that's what goes back to the self-knowing and the self-love. It's okay because I already know this about myself, so no matter what you say, it won't faze me. I've already accepted it. Move on. And again, people are always going to have something to say. People are always going to have their input. It's a very rare skill to have, unfortunately, but a lot of people don't know how to mind their own business. So people are always going to have something to say about you, how you're living your life, how you're going about certain things. I mean, they just always are. So you have to understand that that's always going to be the case, and it'll kind of help you to be prepared for that. Another thing, last thing, this is the fifth thing, is to have control of your emotions. Because, like I said in the beginning of this, at the end of the day, as humans, we want to be accepted. We want to be liked. We want to be valued. We want to be thought of highly when it comes to our peers or even strangers. So, having control of your emotions is key because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have hearts and we all can be sensitive at times. And no matter how strong you are, no matter how much you love yourself or how much you know yourself, when someone says something to you, especially if it hits a nerve, especially if it's something that, you might be insecure about, it can be hard to remember all these things. So it comes down to self-control. As you can see, a lot of these things come down to self because of the fact that you can't control what other people do, what other people think, what other people say. So to actually not care about what people think or say, you have to know yourself. You have to know who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between. And not only that, but you have to accept these things and you have to love them. You have to love them and kind of grow with yourself. Okay. Third, you got to love others. You got to treat others with respect and love, even if they aren't treating you in that way. That makes you a goddess. That makes you an amazing human being who cannot be fazed by people. You start to see things clearer and you just become phenomenal. You become unfazed even more so. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when people are trying to get to you, when you respond in a way that's loving, it throws them off. It kind of pisses them off. So you kind of kill two birds in one stone there, because at the end of the day, lastly, it can be hard to deal with these things. You don't want to be spoken about badly. So you have to have control over your emotions at the end of the day, and you have to stay composed and decide to still love yourself, decide to not allow what someone said about you that's negative to penetrate your mind and for you to start to believe it yourself. So you have to be strong, you have to be solid, and you have to have love for yourself, for others, and know for a fact that I am who I am, and I love who I am. That is it for this podcast. Quick, short, and to the point. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.